This is Franklin Street Public School in Markham, Ontario, Canada. This is the school that I attended from, I think, around 1958 to 1966. And this is the 175th anniversary, apparently, this year of Franklin Street Public School, although this is not the original building. What you see here at this part of the building is a building that was erected, I think, in the 1880s. I stand to be corrected on that, though. And it is a very old school. The original school, I would think, in Markham, Ontario. This is the playground. It's much changed since I was here more than 50 years ago. There's the baseball diamond and tennis courts. I mean, the baseball diamond and playground, they were all here, but they've been upgraded. Now, what's remarkable, something else that's remarkable about this school is back in the late 1950s, and I'm sure before that, and into the 1960s, the teachers, the principal and the teachers were allowed to use corporal punishment on children, abuse children, in other words, strike children and conduct psychological terrorism on children. This was authorized by the town, I assume, and the school board at the time. But they did abuse children at this school. While I was here, certainly they did. I was in this classroom that you see on the ground floor here in front of us. I was in this classroom in grade 5, and I think it was 1962-63. The teacher, and her name was Miss Hamill, it seemed like she hated children. I know she set the classroom up so that one row that was closest to her and closest to the door was dedicated to what she called the dumbest children in the class. That's the way the rows were set up in her classroom, from dumbest near the door to the smartest near the windows, which is a bit of psychological abuse if I've ever seen it. It was crazy. But this abuse was conducted on young children at Franklin Street School. Now we'll just go for a walk. I mean, otherwise it was a nice school. I mean, there were good teachers here. I had many good teachers here. Mrs. Pashler, Mrs. Murdoch, Mrs. Duffield. They were all very good teachers in the younger grades. But there was an element at this school. This window here is the office where the beatings were conducted, the strappings, the whippings, whatever you want to call it, the threats on children, the terrorism of children. I'm walking around this side of the building now. This is within our own lifetime. The ground floor here was the grade 6 classroom next to the principal's classroom. There was only a doorway between us, and we could hear the strappings going on, the children screaming as they were being strapped very often. It was a frequent occurrence, almost daily. The terrorism of children here and the abuse of children was substantial, and it's something that should be recognized now. There should be a reconciliation, there should be an apology from the Markham or York Region School Board for the behavior that was conducted by some of the teachers and the principal. The principal at that time, his name was Mr. Bourne. He was known as a strap-happy principal, teacher. He was pretty awful, to be honest. I think he was a child abuser. There's no other word to describe it, because he randomly selected students for beatings and strappings. Terrorism. Above that, second floor, I know I had Mrs. Duffield there, really good teacher for grade 3. You go down the building there to the next older part of the building. I was in kindergarten in the ground floor in the middle, and I had Mrs. Murdoch, good teacher, in the second floor, I remember, in grade 4. But this is something that really needs to be addressed. In Canada, we're very good at apologizing for injustices of the past, whether it's the First Nations with residential schools, I'm not suggesting that we were treated as badly as the First Nations students who were sent to residential schools. That's not the case. I have a huge amount of respect, dismay for what they had to suffer. I know people in the First Nations community. It's horrendous what they went through. But at the same time, I think it should be recognized that what we went through at Franklin School, abuse, physical abuse, corporal punishment, psychological abuse, the terrorism of terrorizing young students, it's profoundly impacting on a person's life, and it's something that I haven't forgotten, that teachers and the principal were authorized to do this in my lifetime. And it's disgusting that this has never been addressed here or at other schools, particularly in Markham. So I want to thank you for watching this, and I hope you agree with me. Thanks, bye.